Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make this DIY Americana wreath with lights, all from the Dollar Tree. Okay, and the first thing that we're going to need is these red, white, and blue burlap mesh, one roll of each. And we're going to need this 14-inch wreath form from the Dollar Tree, this wire one, and floral wire, a scissor, hot glue, this wind chime with a star, and these LED lights, all from the Dollar Tree. First, we're going to take our wire wreath form and we're going to make little loops of wire. And I'm going to loop it between the first wire and the second wire, and you're going to put 4 between each rib. There is a more detailed tutorial that I'm going to link here on the cards and down below on how to add the mesh to this wreath, okay? I'm going to show you really quickly how to do it. We're going to take a 2-inch loop and we're going to put it between the first rib and the first wire, between the first ring, the inner ring, and the second ring. And the fact that it's 2 inches isn't as important as it is for all of the loops to be the same height. But you want it to be roughly 2 inches so that you have a good amount of thickness and you're able to work with it. Then you're going to pull it over to the left and slide over the first wire. Then you're going to push through a second loop of material and pull it over and then slide over the next wire. And again, just make sure that it's the same length. And then you're going to pretty much follow the same technique with the white row in the middle and the red row on the outside. What I did to make it easier is also I used jute twine instead of wire. If the wire isn't available to you, or if you're not enjoying working with wire, then you can always use jute twine, which you can find at the Dollar Tree as well. And like I said, in that in-depth tutorial, it does show you both options. And then you're just going to continue around and you're going to expand the amount of spaces and bumps that you put in the middle and in the end, or you can just make it 4 and 4 and 4. So that's what I ended up doing, was just making 4 sets of bumps is the way I put it. I'm sorry, 4 sets of wires, 5 bumps per section between each rib. Okay? Now here I'm going to show you, even though I'm not done at the end yet, I'm going to show you how to tie off an end. So I actually have just added the last loop and I scrunched the end of the mesh, fed a wire through it, tied a wire around it, and then went ahead and I twisted it around the intersection between the rib and the second ring, okay? And I did it from the top this time. When we started, we attached it to the underside of the wreath, and then because we're pulling through, and when we end it, we want to screw it down, attach it down from the top, excuse me, okay? And here I am showing you to go ahead and how you could use jute twine. I made this wreath to show you guys both techniques. The first row was all wire, second rows were all jute, okay? And here it is, just repeat it around the hole. I didn't think you guys needed to watch me do all 3 rows and all 3 colors, since it was the exact same technique. What I'm doing here is now I'm fluffing them out. I started with the white row because I figured it much easier to manage the center row. If in case the blue went thick, it can go towards the inside of the ring, and if the red went thick, it go towards the outside of the ring. But once those 2 are fluffed out, it's very difficult to get the white fluffed out. So that's why I started with the center white circle. And that's the logic behind it, okay? So all you do is take each loop that you put through and you just make sure that every layer of fabric is separated so there's just one layer in the loop, okay? Basically, you're just gonna unfold whatever is stuck together, okay? And you're just gonna repeat this for all 3 colors. wasn't that satisfying to watch? Just kidding. So I wanted to just take 2 seconds to tell you guys that I didn't feel like this needed a hanger. Because of the wire wreath part, I could just go ahead and hang it from there. But if you need to put a hanger on at this point, you can. I've got lots of tutorials on how to do different hangers. If you want to check out my other wreath tutorials, they're in my DIY playlist, okay? Now it's time to add the star. So we're going to use this metal wind chime from the Dollar Tree. I thought that the red, white, and blue star was a really nice accent. But you know, if you just like this red, white, and blue, if you have other options, you can. This is just what we're doing. So I've taken a little pliers and I'm just disconnecting the chain on the top and the chain on the bottom. And I am not worrying about the fact that there's a little hole in the bottom and a little hole in the top. You really do not notice it, I promise. So I'm really just going to hot glue this. I'm just going to put a ton of hot glue on the end, down the middle, and a ton of hot glue wherever I think it will touch mesh. And then I'm just going to stick it. Look, see? Just a ton. And I'm just going to stick it wherever I think it should go. All right? And then we're just going to give it a minute to sit. La 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 la. We love watching hot glue dry. Okay? And then the final thing I decided to do to this is to add those new LED string lights that they have from the Dollar Tree. Of course, you could use any LED string lights, or any string lights that are battery operated, I should say. But these, of course, were $1, and they're battery operated. And the 3 feet is just perfect to fit from the star, one end of the star, to the other end of the star, okay? So, of course, you want to check the batteries. No, you don't check the batteries. You check the lights to make sure they work. You put batteries in them. So this particular set of lights takes 2 AA batteries, and it has a screw compartment. Basically, you have to unscrew a little compartment with a mini screwdriver, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and do here. And then we'll pop in some batteries. 1 and 2. Whoop! Yay! They work. So always test them before you go ahead and put the screw back on, or install them for that matter. That's the best idea. I like to install them where they're on, but I'm going to shut them off here in a second, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little holder for the battery, the lights. So what I'm doing is deciding where I want the battery box to sit, and I've decided the battery box to sit right behind the star, so that you won't have to worry about if you ever see it. Okay, and you'll also not have to search for where you put the battery pack, because it's behind the star. So I've decided to take a piece of the blue mesh. You can use whatever you want. You can use ribbon, whatever. I just want to make sure that you know you can't glue this down. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but if you glue it down, then you have to take the cover off while it's still glued on. And I've just decided to make a holder for it. So I have just, no joke, literally taken a piece of the blue mesh, about 6 to 8 inches long, and I'm wrapping it around, basically tying this on. I'm just fishing it through the middle 2 loops and tying it around the back of the battery pack, leaving the switch exposed. All right. I will be able to slide it out when I need to replace the batteries, and as long as you can access the switch. I just hand tied it nice and tight, cut off the extra. Make sure you don't cut your wire. And there you go. You can just access the switch, turn it on and off. Alright, so now, like I said before, I do like to install them when they're lit. But what I've done first is I've threaded them through to the top side, right under the star. And then I turn them on. We'll flip the wreath over and just make sure I have that first one centered and that the wreath won't fall. And now that I have them lit, I've turned them over and I'm just weaving this. Sometimes a light is between the white and blue, and sometimes a light is between the red and white. And I've just alternated back and forth. I haven't made actually like a pattern, quote unquote pattern. I've just done what I think looks nice, and depending on where my loops were laying, and depending on, you know, what my eye saw at the time, you guys do what you want. You can put 2 sets of lights on here if you want to. You can set one between the white and blue. You could set one between the red and white. But if you notice here, it goes just, it's like the perfect size, this 3 foot of lights. Okay, the last light bulb is going to land right under the star. So I just thought it was a perfect solution. I mean, a perfect solution. A perfect match made in heaven. Okay, and there it is. Like I said, you can or cannot do a hanger if you want. I decided to put a piece of string back here and tie a loop for my honey to hang. And here it is all lit up, and here it is without any lights, and it looks just as gorgeous during the day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out the other tutorials on the other wreaths in the series. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye!